this is not a Gibson. Hey guys, welcome back to the Bald Shredder channel, and I am here with yet another custom ordered guitar from AliExpress. Now I know a lot of you guys are going to be saying like, hang on dude, you said last year that you were done ordering guitars from AliExpress. Yeah, I did say that. I uploaded this video last year. A lot of you guys have seen it. It has over 46,000 views. And at the time, I did mean it. But then my buddy Mike over at Fulton Street Beats started uploading all these Gibson videos, and there was one particular video that he put up where he custom ordered a Randy Rhoads Les Paul. It looked really great, and he was going on and on about how much he loves it, and I was just like, I've always wanted a Les Paul model like this, and that's what kind of nudged me and made me decide that, you know what? I'm gonna give this another try. And yeah, I'm wearing a Def Leppard shirt because this is based on one of Steve Clark's Les Pauls from the Hysteria days. Now I'm gonna tell you all about it, about the guitar, why I got it, what it is, what it isn't, all that stuff. But first, I want you guys to hear me play this. Let me just tell you, this thing turned out fantastic. And for this particular jam, I did try to come up with something that was along the lines of, you know, Steve Clark, Def Leppard-ish. Check it out. Okay guys, real quick, I need to address an issue that has been brought to my attention by a few of my viewers. I've had a few people tell me in the past couple of weeks that they have been somehow automatically unsubscribed from my channel. They didn't unsubscribe, they were already subscribed, and then they're watching one of my videos and all of a sudden they notice that there's the subscribe button. Like they could click it to subscribe even though they were already subscribed. This is happening to some people. So if you guys could do me a huge favor right now, just look down under the video screen where it's got like the information, and if you see that little black bar and it says subscribe, that means you aren't subscribed for whatever reason, and maybe you would consider right now just clicking that so that you would be an official subscriber. Thanks, guys. All right, so the guitar, yeah. In case you don't know, Def Leppard is my all-time favorite band, and I really got into them in 1983 when Pyromania came out, and that's really when I started getting into guitar and hard rock music, and that's what inspired me to start playing guitar. So Steve Clark and Phil Collen, the both of them, they were some of my earliest and biggest inspirations to pick up the guitar and start playing guitar. And I was lucky enough to see Def Leppard once on the Pyromania tour. That was my first concert ever. And then I saw them twice on the Hysteria tour. So yeah, lucky enough to see Steve Clark in his prime 3 times. And I always loved the black 3-pickup Les Paul guitar that he had during the Hysteria days. And it's one of those things that's like, I always wanted to have one. I always wanted to own something that looked like that. And no, I'm not really a Les Paul guy. A Les Paul is not my ideal guitar or my favorite guitar shape for various reasons. But being that it's like a Steve Clark guitar, a Def Leppard guitar, I wanted it, and I love it. So this is not meant to be a Gibson copy. It's not meant to be an exact replica. Basically for me, this is a tribute guitar for one of my earliest inspirations, one of my all-time favorites, Steve Clark. Yeah, it says Gibson, but it's not a Gibson. And on the back of the headstock, guys, it says SC Tribute number 2, because this is my second Steve Clark Les Paul tribute guitar. So there's no made in the USA, and there's no actual serial number. And that's the way I wanted it, because I don't want anybody to ever confuse this for a real Gibson, because it isn't a real Gibson, and I don't think anybody should ever think that it is, especially since there's no serial number and no made in the USA. Now, one big difference between Steve's guitar and this guitar is that his had a Kahler bridge with the whammy bar, right? Well, they don't have those bridges or that particular bridge over there at the factories in China. And I was perfectly fine to just have a regular stop tail piece that you would find on a normal Les Paul. Because again, as I said, this is not meant to be an exact copy or an exact replica. It's just a tribute guitar that when I look at it, I think Steve Steamin' Clark. And I want to grab it, and I want to start playing Too Late for Love, or things like that. One of the things that impressed me the most is that they really matched, colors of things to the pictures that I provided. Like the switch being gold, and the screws being 4 black screws, but then chrome screws here, and this is gold, and the little bracket here is gold. All that stuff matches the Les Paul in the picture that I sent them that Steve Clark had. And not every seller is gonna do that. I half expected this to be black and all those to be chrome and various things like that. But no, they really did a good job matching it. I also asked them to make the neck thinner. I wanted a thin neck. They did it, great, right? I wanted jumbo frets. They put jumbo frets on there, which is one of the reasons why this one plays so well for me and feels so comfortable, because I like that thin neck and I like the jumbo frets. So yeah, it's got it. And along with the binding on the side here, guys, they did the little fret nibs, so the binding kind of comes up on the edge of the fret wire, so there are no sharp edges at all. And unlike a lot of my guitars that I get from overseas, I didn't have to do any setup on this at all. The action is already low, perfect. No fret buzz, because they actually leveled the frets. Can you believe it? Yeah. The only thing I did was on the middle pickup, I lowered it down a little bit, because those middle pickups do have a tendency to get in the way of my picking hand. So yeah, I just turned the screws and lowered down that middle pickup and then tuned it up. I mean, it still has the original strings on it. I haven't even changed the strings. Yeah, good to go. And I think I can say, in all honesty, this is probably the best guitar that I've gotten from AliExpress ever at this point. Now, is it absolutely 100% perfect? No, it's close, but there's a couple of small little things. If you look on the back here, right on the edge of the control cavity cover, there's a tiny little bit of the wood grain coming through where the paint didn't quite cover that spot. Barely noticeable, not a big deal. And then up here on the side of the nut, it looks like the clear coat kind of came up, but it didn't go all the way up to the top edge of the bone nut, so there's a little bit of differences in the coloration, but again, no big deal at all. Now remember I said they did a great job of like matching everything from the picture. The only thing that they probably didn't match, and again it's not a big deal, the truss rod cover. On Steve's guitar, it's just like a plain truss rod cover, just plain black, and there's no writing on it or anything. But on this one, they put one that says Les Paul Custom. And if that really bugged me, I could take it off and put a plain black one on there, but it doesn't really bug me, and I'm not gonna do that. And like I said before, guys, this is not a replica. I'm not trying to replicate Steve's guitar exactly. I'm not trying to make a Gibson copy or an exact replica. This is a tribute guitar for me, something that I can look at, makes me think about one of my biggest and earliest inspirations, something that, you know, makes me want to pick it up and start playing Def Leppard kind of riffs and Steve Clark licks as best I can. And that's what it is, and that's what it does, and it has totally accomplished that. Now I'm sure you guys want to know, well, how much did it cost you, dude? What was the price? Yeah, under 300 bucks. I think it was right around $288, something like that, which is pretty amazing for the quality that I got on this one, and considering that it was made so well. Now, was the whole process and the whole transaction like completely worry-free and stress-free? Definitely not. When I first placed the order, the guy was like, it'll probably take about a month, so please extend the processing time, like add another like 20 days on there, because I think I started it with 10 days. So I added 20 days, gives him 30 days to finish it, and then mark it shipped. Well, you get to the end of the 30 days and the guy's like, well, we need another week. Can you extend it another week? Okay, not a problem, no big deal. That has happened multiple times with my other AliExpress custom orders. Because remember, this was not a standard one that he already had. It's like, I wanted the Steve Clark guitar. So, all right, I extended another week. Well, that kept happening over and over. I can't remember how many times, but it was like several times. And he kept telling me like, well, we're part way through. We're doing the paint now. The guitar is partially done, or we're almost done. And I was like, okay, show me some pictures of this partially done guitar. And he wasn't showing me pictures. And then when he finally did send me a picture, it was the wrong guitar. It was a 2 pickup guitar. There was no route for the middle pickup, and it already had paint on it. And I'm going, dude, that's not my guitar. And I'm starting to not believe the guy. Like, okay, this guitar is not gonna get made, and he's somehow hoping that he's just gonna keep my money. And I was getting nervous about it. But finally, it got done. He showed me pictures of it. It got shipped. It arrived. Here it is. And yeah, it's awesome. So yep, it's getting the old bald shredder stamp of approval. Will there be another guitar from AliExpress? I'm not gonna say no, but I don't think it'll be anytime soon. But I'm not gonna say never, but we'll see. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.